If you look down in the description box below, you will see my most recent updated 2014 NFL mock draft. And keep in mind, this isn't the final one. The final one will come up on Wednesday. Also, keep in mind that Wednesday, May 7th at 10 p.m. Eastern on Blog Talk Radio, I will be doing a 2-hour NFL draft preview podcast. You'll want to check it out. You can also call in and join in on the fun at 646 787 8342. Now, as far as this mock draft, I just fired through one with 2 rounds, no trades, and there you are. And basically what I was looking at with this one here, keep in mind, this isn't me mocking necessarily just who a team is going to pick, because obviously I know there's going to be trades and stuff, but I'm kind of looking at a combination of a couple of things. Number one, maybe what a team is looking at if they're at a certain position. Number two, what maybe that player's stock is. So you could look here and you see like Taylor Lewan at number 5 to Oakland. It might be a matter of, I think Lewan ends up in Oakland. It may or may not be with the 5th overall pick, but that's kind of the fit that I envision. Or I'm looking at somebody like Aaron Donald, the defensive tackle from Pittsburgh, going number 7 to Tampa Bay. Again, that's something that I could envision happening because Lovie Smith will sit there and see Aaron Donald next to Gerald McCoy and see all types of possibilities. But it's also maybe a measurement more so of Aaron Donald's draft stock and the fact that I would be stunned at this point, frankly, if he escaped the first 10 picks of the draft. Now, in terms of some other things you notice here, I think there will be a run on wide receivers in this draft. I think you'll might have as many as 7 wide receivers go in the first round. You'll see maybe only 1 tight end. You'll see several offensive tackles, including Miami, giving us a really stupid surprise with JaWuan James out of Tennessee, because that would be the type of thing that the Miami Dolphins would do. So again, don't take this particular mock draft too much to heart in terms of me sitting there saying, well, this guy is going to go here for sure, and this guy is going to go here to this team for sure. Like if you look at Sammy Watkins going number 3 to Jacksonville. Now, they very easily, Jacksonville could take Sammy Watkins number 3 overall, and it'd be incredibly hard to knock him. But that might be, again, a measurement of me more so saying Sammy Watkins could go here, but there could also be a team like a Buffalo or a Detroit that would be willing to trade up from either 9 or 10 to 3 to get a Sammy Watkins. You know, Greg Robinson going 2 to St. Louis, that might be a pick they would make. But they also might trade out of that pick, and somebody maybe like an Atlanta or a Buffalo might trade up to that spot to take a Greg Robinson. So I hope you kind of get what I'm getting at here. You'll notice with the quarterbacks, I've got the first quarterback not coming off the board to number 8 overall. That's Bortles to Minnesota. Then I've got Manziel going 13 to the Rams. Carr 26 to the Browns, and then the 4th quarterback in round 1 is Tom Savage out of Pittsburgh to the New England Patriots. As I've talked about, I believe, before, and I'll talk about it here again really quickly, part of the reason I have Tom Savage going in the first round to the New England Patriots is because they look at Ryan Mallett, maybe hasn't fully developed the way they wanted, and the fact that he's in the last year of his contract, and they're probably not going to keep him around. You're looking at Brady maybe having another 3 years at most of being a top flight NFL starter. You might only play 3 more years. If you draft a guy like Tom Savage, who you really like, if you're the New England Patriots, let's say you draft him in round 2, you only have potentially 4 years of team control before you would potentially reach free agency. Whereas if you draft him in the first round here, you have a deep enough organization, a deep enough roster where you could take one of these future picks and then worry about the rest of the draft as it plays out. But you could sit there and take this guy, hold on to him for 3 years, similar to what Green Bay did with Aaron Rodgers in 2005, and then you still have a guy like a Tom Savage who can sit there and come in and, let's say Brady plays 3 more years, you still have Tom Savage for 2 more years. Now, some of the players of note that you will notice drop to round 2 in my draft, guys like Teddy Bridgewater. Unfortunately, it would be a lot of other teams' losses and the Houston Texans gained. Again, I will emphasize, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the Houston Texans taking Jadeveon Clowney number 1 overall based off of schematic fit and based off of some other things, if they took Clowney number 1 overall and then were able to come back and somehow, some way get Teddy Bridgewater at the beginning of round number 2, boy, that's a hell of a winner draft if you can ever have one, and as a result, I would definitely not knock him for doing it. Guys like Coney Ely, I think there's some question about whether he's going to play defensive end or defensive tackle at the NFL level. I bet some NFL organizations envision him as a defensive tackle in a 4-3, or maybe he's better suited to play a 5 technique end in a 3-4. So as a result, his stock might drop a little bit. A guy like Timmy Jernigan, I'm not that big on, because I saw an inconsistent player that seems a little out of shape, but he does have some of that talent there. But I'd be surprised if he wasn't like a mid-second round pick. A guy like Jason Verrett, who I think is a first-round talent in this draft as a corner, because of his lack of size, is probably going to go somewhere in the middle portion of round number 2 and potentially be a steal for somebody. So again, you could take a look at my mock draft in the description box down below. Like I said, I just kind of fired through it. I didn't do any trades. Just try to kind of envision where players might go, or what directions teams might go. Kind of give you a measurement maybe at this point of what players have what draft stock, what teams might be looking in what directions. Again, Wednesday will be my final 2014 NFL mock draft. It'll be at least 3 rounds. I may do 4, may do more. I don't know yet, but 3 rounds for sure, guaranteed, where I'm at least going to do trades in round number 1. I won't mess with trades in round 2 and 3 because that's a little too unpredictable and way too much time for me to want to spend on it. And again, make sure you check out my 2014 NFL Draft Preview podcast on Blog Talk Radio this Wednesday, May 7th, at 10 p.m. Eastern. The link to that will be in the description box down below, and make sure you check that out. It'll be a lot of fun, I promise you that.